If you are into Norse mythology and all the Viking stuff and have watched the show Vikings, then you are already probably aware with what Blood Eagle is. Right from the start, it does not sound good, and it is not good at all, at least for someone who is on the receiving end. Welcome to the Vikings Code, and today we will be looking at the brief anatomy of the gruesome Blood Eagle ritual. So please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and let's continue. The Blood Eagle is one of the most iconic images associated with Viking brutality in popular culture. According to lore, this method of torture involves separating the victim's ribs from their spine, pulling their bones and skin outward to form wings, and pulling their lungs out of their chest cavity. The manner of death appears twice in the popular History Channel drama series Vikings, both times as a ritual reserved for the hero's fiercest foes, Jarl Borg and King Aili, a fictitious equivalent to the real-life Northumbrian monarch. Ivar the Boneless, a character based on the Viking leader who invaded Britain in the 9th century, uses the Blood Eagle to kill his rival King Rodri in the video game Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They take their inspiration from medieval sources written in both Old Norse and Latin. In each of the 9 accounts that have survived, the victim is caught in combat and gets an eagle of some kind carved into their back. Some of the allusions to the torture are short and to the point. Others are more explicit, more in line with the extreme forms shown in modern popular culture, such as the Terminator franchise. In any case, the existence of the ritual in these writings is meant to transmit a message about honor and vengeance. According to some accounts, the Blood Eagle was a particularly heinous example that could only be carried out in extraordinary circumstances on a captured prisoner of war who had previously sentenced the ritual doer's father or other male relative to a humiliating death. Victims of trigger killings were thrown into a pit of snakes, burnt to death in a longhouse without the opportunity for a fair fight, and even had their intestines pulled out and stapled to a post. And Blood Eagle was probably a way for the victim's family to restore their lost honor. In a new study, the researchers analyzed the practice of Blood Eagle by first evaluating human anatomy, then breaking down the process of torture steps by step, and then estimating how it would have been conducted in a public ceremony. Afterwards, they looked at weaponry from that time period to see what kind of blades would have been used for a process that was both time-consuming and gruesome. It's likely that various kinds of Viking knives, swords, and spears were used for different parts of the Blood Eagle ceremony, and previous archaeological finds have shown instances of weaponry that would have been well suited for this grisly activity. According to the research, single-edged fighting knives with solid handles have been discovered in aristocratic Viking tombs, and several of them resemble huge knives used in modern autopsies. When performing the initial stage of the Blood Eagle ritual, a knife of this kind might have been used to cut and peel back the layers of skin and muscle. When it came to splitting the bones of the ribs, it was more difficult, especially since it was necessary to avoid damaging the lungs, because hacking at them with a sword or cutting through them with a serrated knife would have likely ripped or punctured the lung tissue. A tiny, barbed spearhead could, on the other hand, theoretically unzip ribs from the spine, according to the experts. And similar weapons have been discovered in Viking tombs as well. Archaeologists have never discovered any human remains that show traces of having been subjected to this rite of passage. According to the study, in the 9 known written descriptions of the Blood Eagle ceremony, both the persons who ordered the torture and the people who were tortured were men of great social position, with the majority of them being royal. There were certain instances in which the text indicated that an authorized official was present to execute the Blood Eagle act, probably because it needed highly specialized knowledge of anatomy and butchery. According to the researchers, conspicuous mutilation and performative displays of social standing were common practices in elite Viking society. This suggests that written accounts of the Blood Eagle ritual were recounting events that actually occurred and were socially significant for leaders celebrating victory over a powerful opponent. The Blood Eagle was therefore more than just a punishment. It had a purpose. While it was theoretically possible to dissect a live human body in this manner, it was not physically possible to survive such torture. According to the scientists, victims most likely lost consciousness early in the process as flesh was removed from their backs. The amount of blood lost and subsequent lung collapse would have killed them long before the gruesome ordeal was completed, and a big part of the procedure would have been performed on a corpse. As the researchers put it, there is no likelihood that a victim would have stayed alive during the procedure. A victim who had been subjected to complete Blood Eagle torture would have perished long before their ribs could have been molded into the shape of wings and their lungs were externalized. So we'll end our video here. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or thoughts, please let us know in the comments section. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel, stay tuned with us, and we will see you soon in the next one.